for the first time ever, your Wellness Rebranded podcast team is crafting this excellent experience in the form of an in-person retreat. It's going to be here in Annapolis at the Collective, February 7th from 9 to 4. You don't want to miss this.
It's called Exhale, which is what we hope you will get to do while you are with us. We are going to drop the link in the show notes. There is an early bird savings if you use the code WR50 before December 15th. This is going to be awesome. We love being together, and we cannot wait to be in person together with you sharing this day. We have all sorts of really yummy things planned for you. First and foremost, it is a chance to pause and put yourself at the top of your priority list. You are going to get a chance to pause, to practice some mindfulness. We're going to have guided intuitive eating experiences. You'll get to ask us all your questions about nutrition and movement and intuitive eating and body image and mental wellness or emotional well-being. We are going to do a journaling exercise. We have so much planned. We simply can't tell you all about it.
So come join us. We're crafting a beautiful, recharging day for you to take care of yourself and take this podcast to a real experience.
Welcome to Wellness Rebranded, the podcast for women ready to redesign their relationship with food, fitness, and feeling.
We are a registered dietitian, a personal trainer, and a mental health therapist. 3 experts, 1 mission.
To help you break free from diet culture, hustle culture, and emotional burnout. Let's redefine what wellness really means on your terms. What do you guys think of when you think of the term restoration? We have a topic that we really are excited to dig into today, and that is we want to talk about our nervous systems and the idea of rest versus relaxation versus restoration. And I think restoration, they're all vital, but in different ways, and we're excited to chat with you about it. What comes to mind for you guys right off the bat?
So when I think about like rest and restoration, I usually think about like coming home and flopping on the couch and like dissociating until bedtime, but that's not truly restorative. That's just like getting through your day. It's
Survival.
survival, right? So when I think of, restoration, I think of feeling like fully recharged. I've plugged myself into the wall and, filled my battery, filled my cup, and I'm feeling like I can take on anything at that point.
I agree. I think what you describe of laying down in the couch for me is a little bit more like distraction. It's like,
Yeah.
like putting your nervous system in a little quiet room for a little bit, just, to relax, but it's not really restoring, right? You get
Yeah.
out of that couch, or when it happens to me, I get out of that couch, I still have the tower of dishes in the sink, and still my kids are calling my name every 2 seconds. So it was almost like a quiet room for my nervous system for a little bit, but I'm not really rebuilding anything. For me, restoration is when we understand that our nervous system need rebuild or really support, because I know as a matter of fact what happens when your nervous system just can't do it anymore, which is what we call burnout and many other names. So I think that's the different distraction or a quiet room for a little bit versus rebuilding something.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. It probably won't surprise you guys to know that I geeked out on this a little bit and did some research.
Wow, I am surprised, Elizabeth.
Not surprised at all.
So
I was being
now
sarcastic.
I've not, I think my brain has like circled around this in different ways, but never as like directly as how I'm thinking about it now. So rest is like rest/sleep, right? Because we need them both. They're essential, but it's like when work or activity or function kind of pauses in order for you to kind of give your mind and body a break, or in the case of sleep to like actually sleep, recover strength, do the healing and important work that your brain and your body are doing when you're sleeping. Relaxation is like to seek rest or recreation. Like it's more short-term recovery, right? Which is
Pleasant, something pleasant that mhm.
yeah, which
Yeah.
is like maybe what you're talking about flopping on the couch. Like you are relaxing, right? And it is serving a role, and also it may be like rooted in distraction or all of the other things. But restoration, I love thinking about it this way. It's like and I sorry, I don't remember where I saw it and I didn't write it down, but it's healing and it increases your capacity for vigor and health. And when I think about it that way, it seems, I think they're all essential, but that almost to me seems like the fundamental, like that's the foundation, right?
Yeah.
If you don't truly have that woven into your life in some way, your capacity for healing and vigor and health are minimized.
I love that phrase, like the capacity for vigor and health. Like, who doesn't want that, you know?
Right?
Like, yes, give me some vigor and zest for life, please. I'm in. I feel like I hear my clients all the time. When I see clients early in the week, I'll be like, "Hey, how was your weekend?" And like a lot of times women will tell me like, "Oh, I just hung out at home, just rested." And then they describe like cleaning their house and chasing after kids and running errands and then, like falling asleep on the couch in the middle of their favorite show that they can't ever seem to stay awake to watch the end of. And I just feel like that's not rest.
It doesn't sound restorative.
It's definitely not restorative.
So what I'm hearing is that relaxing or taking pauses is taking pauses, and that's beneficial, right? That's
Mhm.
finding something that is pleasant that maybe distract us, that bring us some joy, like the manicure, the watching the show, right? But then restoring is addressing the situation.
Mm.
It's like really, right? Like, I don't know, when we really is not, it's again, it's like really finding that balance in your nervous system, not distracting it for a little bit, but really doing things that are going to bring your nervous system to a state where you can continue functioning properly or proficiently in any way.
Yeah, Maria. And also, like, if you even just think about what restore means, it's like to give back or return. And so, restoration, another way of thinking about it is that it's really refilling your depleted resources, like mental, physical, emotional resources through nourishing activities, right? That bring you back into balance and support your nervous system and your overall vitality.
So I'm going to put it in plain words, thinking of me, okay? Because
Yeah.
now you said that, and I'm like, geez, I mean, there's always something depleted in me.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm either that day, I'm either depleted mentally, or I'm depleted physically, or I'm depleted emotionally, or I'm depleted, whatever it is. What I want as a 48-year-old woman who has still raising two kids, I have a husband, a dog, a job, friends, toxic people, good people. I want to move my body. I want to, whatever that is, all the responsibilities. I want to stop performing every now and then. I really want to stop performing. I want to stop solving stuff for other people. I want to stop thinking what's the next thing that I need to do to take care of somebody else. I want to stop, not at least for a little bit, right? I know this can't stop forever, though probably I'll be dead because I'll still have kids until the day I die. And you have that, worry or that next thing to do and all that comes with whatever adulthood or life that we chose, whatever. But is having, let's say, like a day where I am not doing any of that. Really, the
Mhm.
spotlight is on me and on filling up those little compartments of, those little buckets that are inside of me. So that way I can start over or keep going in a more fulfilled way.
Yeah,
That's,
refilling those resources, those
yes,
depleted
exactly.
resources. So In a sense, so anyone out there who doesn't already know, Maria, Tara, and I have created a brand new wellness rebranded experience, right? We're calling it Exhale. It is a 1 day retreat here in Annapolis. And basically, we're creating the thing that we need, right? We
Yes.
we need
Mhm.
to push pause to restore our well-being, to focus on ourselves and put everything away. And really, we know we need that and we look for ways to do it, but we wanted to help create it for our listeners.
I am so excited about this because I feel like I've had the internalized messages of like rest is lazy, rest is for the weak, like things like that. So having a space where I can come to this retreat and just fully rest and restore sounds incredible. And I think looking at it from our three different perspectives is going to be so great because we'll have workouts that are great for all levels. You're going to have lots of energy from that. You're going to have restorative meals that are going to help make your body feel good and a space to just be you for a minute. Like, it's going to be awesome. I'm
A
excited.
day filled with nourishing activities that are truly designed not only to help you get some restoration, but also to learn some simple strategies that you can carry it forward into your life, because that's the important part. So,
Absolutely.
as an aside, it's February 7th. Registration is currently open and there are early bird rates available through December 15th. So you guys, if you're listening before then, be sure to go grab that early bird rate. The link and the code are in the show notes. And if it's after that, you can absolutely still sign up and join us, and we will be so excited to see you. But
Hold on,
so,
hold on, hold on. I need to
oh,
go one step deeper here.
oh, okay.
The other reason for this retreat is because restoration doesn't need to happen alone. And I've
Yeah.
said this before, healing doesn't have to happen alone. So, this is also a time for your nervous system and yourself to feel seen, safe, and supported. And how amazing is that? And we don't find that everywhere all the time, right? And I'm talking about me. I want to feel seen. The efforts that I've made, the need that I have to dedicate a time for myself and to even recognize what I'm doing, but give myself that little care and love that I think we all need, but don't give ourselves that often. So come to restore with another group of women in similar situations, but again, our my goal, at least mine, is for you to at least feel a little more safe, seen, and supported.
I love that. And it's like the idea of co-regulation. We were chatting about it for a minute before we hopped
Hmm.
on, but that's an important part of our nervous system regulation. When you walk, your nervous system is always on alert, scanning the
Yes.
environment for cues of safety or threat or, other information. And I think we sometimes forget that one of the ways we do that is through co-regulation, right? Our nervous systems are co-regulating with one another, and it actually is an important part of feeling seen and safe. And so we're going to learn about things like that at the retreat also. Not only have an opportunity to practice it, but to understand it and go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
But you know how sometimes like certain people just put you on edge, or like you see them coming and you just instantly feel a little bit anxious. And then
Yeah.
there are other people where you're like, oh, I feel good. And like you make me like I feel that calmer energy, or
Hmm.
certain situations. Like that is your nervous system
Yeah.
at work. And yeah, I think learning how to support your nervous system is an important part of restorative healing.
Well, and it can go the other way, Elizabeth. Like there are people that have an effect on your nervous system, but once you learn how to regulate your nervous system, you can also bring people to your peace instead of you going to their chaos, right?
Yeah.
When we
Hmm.
learn how to regulate our nervous system, you also learn the ability to not, you'll always be invited to other people's chaos, but maybe now you don't accept the invitation that fast or you don't go there that quickly because you know the impact that that can have. So that's where we even start choosing what are the activities, places, and people that we want to accept the invitation to chaos and alertness and constant, excitement of your nervous system, excitement in both good and bad ways, or just learning how to create your own peace and start bringing people to that. And if not, it's like, okay, not available right now. I'm in
Yeah.
peace zone.
When you put it that way, it makes me think it's like a superpower.
It is. It
Like,
is a superpower.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think this is why the idea of a retreat really appealed to the three of us because I know people tell me all the time that I'm like very calming to be around. I'm like the ultimate hype man that's also like calm,
Yeah, you are.
which is like an
And honestly,
oxymoron, but
you guys
you
know
know,
I did like my own self, like I went on a retreat of sorts last year. I went to Miraval. I swear what I learned there, I am still putting into practice, right? There are certain things we even did an episode on it about like minimizing
Distractions.
digital
social media.
mindfulness.
Yeah, did thank you. I was like the word was escaping me, but we talked about there. I'm still implementing those practices. They are still positively benefiting my life. I'm still sharing them with other people. I just shared it with someone a couple days ago. But not only that, I find you guys that I'm able to tap into the energy and the vibe that I had when I was there. It is a very, very mindful place. That is their thing. And I don't know that my nervous system has ever been as well regulated as it was when I was at Miraval. And I can actually almost like put myself back in that energy when I need it and I do it and it's amazing. So I can tell you as like that paid dividends for me all year long. It's been incredible.
That
But
sounds amazing.
But that makes perfect sense, Elizabeth. It is easier to go to places when you already have been there, right? When
yeah,
you take
yeah.
your nervous system to a place where you can really experience that peace and that pause and again that restoration that we're talking about, and teaching your nervous system that there are other ways to be and to feel, then once that gets, it leaves the mark in your body, right? Like yeah, it goes through your body, then it's easier to go back there and say exactly how I felt then. I can bring my body to that. Now you even have like a new goal or of where how you want to feel.
Yeah. And there's simple the cool thing about it that I found is there's actually really simple ways to tap into it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like
Mm-hmm.
big and momentous, but it actually works the best when it's the simplest back
Mm-hmm.
in my real life. But what prevents us from truly that restorative healing in our day-to-day lives, right? Like why are there so many of us walking around out there that are having a hard time with this?
I have many
Oh,
ideas.
me too, dude. Like, I
Tara's
think
face just lit up. I don't know how to take that.
because I talk about this with my clients all day, every day. Like, I am on the front lines of hearing why everyone is exhausted. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of like over responsibility. There's a lot of women who are the default parent. We have the constant emotional labor and mental load for basically like everything in the world. I think that there is a lot of like internalized guilt for slowing down, or if you're not being productive, then you're not valuable or worthy. I also think there's kind of a myth that self care has to be like glamorous, like going to Miraval, for example, or expensive. And it really doesn't have to be like that. Even just taking 5 minutes to meditate at the end of the day is free and accessible to most people. But we feel like, well, that's how much good can that do? I need to go to a place and have this like whole digital detox, for it to count. And I just feel like women are tired of it. We're tired of doing all the things and not getting what we need to keep on keeping on, you know?
That's it. I have nothing else to say.
True, very well said. I love that phrase too. Like I'm on the front lines of hearing about this. I think we're all on the front lines of
Yeah.
this in different ways, and I just love that phrase, by the way. But also I think even just the idea of like we'll meditate for 5 minutes at the end of the day, that feels that I think that can feel like another item that you have to check
Yeah.
on your to-do list for self-care. And so how do you I think what I like for me it's more than that. Like you have the idea to creating rituals that last and are meaningful and truly are restorative for you is you have to get out, be able somehow to shift out of the mindset of it's another chore or task to do. And I thought about it a little bit as preparing for the episode, but I would love to hear from you guys. Like, how do you think you create restorative rituals that don't feel like a thing you got to check off that actually add stress in a way?
I can think of two things. I mean, just the first two that come to my mind, one simpler than the other. The
Okay.
simple one, believe it or not, I now have a ritual that I do for me. And it sounds silly, but every time I shower, I leave out like my body cream and my deodorant and the one that I'm going to put in my face. It's like I create this whole thing of how I'm going to spend a few minutes after my shower doing all this nice stuff for me, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm giving myself my own spa session. That's a simple one, and I enjoy it, and I've learned to even say good things to myself while I'm doing that. Like, who look how I'm nourishing my skin and da da da. But the one that changed my life for real is the famous boundaries, right? And it's designing my life with boundaries. And it works like this. This is a perfect example. My 11-year-old needed to, and she's staying in school today actually, to decorate a door. They have like a competition, like holiday door
Mm.
decoration, whatever. She told me last week that she needed some stuff for this door decorating. And I said, okay, I want you to tell me now because I don't want to be rushing the day before when you remember something last minute that you need for the door. So let's take a minute to think, give me the list. And that's what we're doing to this week. She told me the list and exactly how I anticipated. I picked her up from school yesterday and she's like, Mom, I think I need one more thing. So we need to go to the store. Of course, my heart as a mother is like, poor thing. I want her to do great in her door decorating. Let me make some changes in my schedule to take her to the store. But I said inside of me, I'm like, absolutely not. Because this now is going to put me in a stress situation that I need to make some changes. And I said, sweetie, we talked about this last week. The answer is no. I got you what you needed. You have them at home. If you need something else, you do not, because I'm not going to do this last minute, like I said. So, but in another time of my life, I'm like, okay, I need to be the good mom, right? That gives her daughter the chance to think of things last minute. And every now and then I do. But now the general part of my life is no. Like, or if I'm in a phone call and no, is the hand saying, no, I am in a phone call, like respecting that time for me. Because I felt like I wasn't a member of this family. I was just like the person that happens to be here to serve everybody else and be the emotional container for everybody else, and the one that never chooses which restaurant we go to eat that weekend because the kids chose or the husband chose. Now that's a big no for me, guys. Is a no. And I don't see it as becoming like mean or anything. It's like, no, I have a saying too, and I'm gonna go get a shower in peace. And no, I'm not changing my schedule for something that we already talked about. And that really, really started giving me the space for me to be me, a worthy human being with her own needs and all that stuff. So there's that.
I think that's awesome. And it reminds me of a conversation I had with a client last week. We were sort of wrapping up our session and I don't know, we were scheduling our next one. And she very sweetly told me, like, I have lots of flexibility. So if you need to reschedule it, like, it's fine. And then she basically said, like, and I bet you work a lot of evenings. And I said, no, no, I don't work any evenings. And she said, oh, but don't a lot of people need to, like, that's when they can see you in the nighttime? And I said to her, maybe so. However, I am not my best self in the nighttime. I don't think that I can help people in the way that I want to support people in the nighttime. And also, that is the time that I need to kind of focus on my own self-care, my own family, my own whatever. And I said, if you need to see your like the cardiologist, are you doing that at night? And she was, she literally said, "Yeah, good point. No, I'm not." And then her next thing was, and then I just said to her, I forget, she asked me something else, and I said, "That's just a boundary that I have set." And she said, "But then there are probably people that don't see you, right?" And I said, "Yes, there probably are, and I'm okay with that." And she literally paused me and she said, "Elizabeth, my wheels are turning right now about how I need to have this same kind of mindset in a couple different areas of my life. And you actually just, without even realizing it, gave me permission to go do that."
Mm-hmm.
Love
And
that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it well, like we weren't talking about nutrition. It was actually at the end of our session, right? But of course it matters. You have to be able to set boundaries in all sorts of ways to focus on your own care and even your own nutrition. And I read something this morning that for me was like a mic drop sentence, which was that your time is a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought about it that way, but 100% it is, right? If you're
Mm-hmm.
saying yes to 1,000 things, or you aren't carving out time for yourself, right? Or Maria, if you would have sacrificed that and taken your daughter when you had other things you needed to do last minute, like sure, you can do that sometimes, but also it's a boundary that you uphold. You upheld your time is a boundary. And for me, that was like a mic drop kind of
Mm-hmm.
sentiment.
Well, and even if I had time, because I had time to take her to the store, still my teaching to people around me is that I'm not your emergency thing when you didn't plan accordingly. Like I can help every now and then. I'm not saying I'm an extreme no all the
Yeah.
time, but it's teaching, no, you can count that I'm gonna be just right there, even with my kids, anytime you need it. Just when they call from school, I left my shoes. Can you bring my shoes? I've done it, but many other times, no, I cannot. I'm not going
Well,
to
also
drive there.
your energy is a boundary, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we treat it that way, especially women and moms and
Mm-hmm.
busy women in leadership. I think we often can get in the mindset of like, well, if I have the energy, I have to dole it out to
Mm-mm.
other people, responsibilities, priorities. And it's like, no, actually, you get to save some of that energy for you.
Well, how many times we even say yes and we don't have the energy, Elizabeth?
True.
It's just we are exhausted,
I
depleted to
struggle
the
with this.
core, and we still say, "Okay, I'll go do it." And then it's like, what's the main reason for doing that? Is simply just to please other people because then we feel guilty or we're not the great mom we want to be or the great therapist or the great friend. And it's tricky for us, right?
Mhm.
That's what I always say, that taking that self-love and taking care of yourself is not putting first yourself first on the list or in line, because maybe you don't want to do that. All I'm asking is put yourself back in the line, because sometimes we're not even last. It's like we're not even in the line anymore. Everybody's
Yeah.
getting their free prizes from life except you. You're just like watching from the audience. Hell no, get on that stage and get your prizes too. So it's not even putting yourself first. At this point, it's just put yourself somewhere where you get the stuff too.
Yeah.
I have so many thoughts about all of that you guys just said, Elizabeth, about the time boundaries. That's something that I did when my son was born 5 years ago. And like for a personal trainer to not work after 5 p.m. is like unheard of because that's like the busiest time of the day for trainers. And I just thought, like, I'm going to prioritize time with my baby and like hopefully it works out. And then when he started kindergarten a few months ago, I was like, guess I'm off work at 3 now. So, like, and it's been fine. Like
Mhm.
somehow it's worked out, even though I was very anxious about it. And I like having that hard boundary so that, like, I have to go pick him up. I can't wait any longer because knowing that, like, well, I could do just one more half hour, whatever, like, I totally would,
Yeah.
but boundaries around time, I think, are exceedingly important. I also think that, like, I was like born in the 80s, right? Like, I'm a millennial mom, and I was raised being told you can do anything you want to be, you can do it all, you can have it all, you can be it all, which is true, but you can't do it all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that part of the message got lost for a lot of my generation, where, yeah, we totally have like the awesome career and the amazing family and the friend group, and we do all the things, but we're all freaking exhausted because we shouldn't be doing it all to the level that we are doing it. And Maria, going all the way back to your shower routine, I actually love that because it's something you have to do anyway, right? Like you have to take a shower, but pausing and reframing is a huge part of like how I do things in my life. And instead of being like, "Oh, I have to take a shower, like my hair is going to be wet, it's going to take me 800 years to dry it." You've paused and reframed it as like this little mini spa day where it's like, "Ooh, I get to put on my fancy face cream and my serums and toners and all this stuff, right? So something that has gone from being a chore is now a little retreat."
Mhm.
So I love that you answered my question for you, which was Maria shared with us how she creates restorative rituals or like what's essential, and you just gave yours, which one of them, which is pause and reframe.
Yeah.
I
What
love
about
that.
for you, Elizabeth? What do you do?
So I have lots and lots of thoughts, and we can't get into all of them. Two things that I will say, I echo, both of those sentiments, of course. I think for me, the biggest one is always deciding that you're worth it and understanding why it's necessary, right? If you really truly understand how it supports your physical, mental, emotional health, it makes it easier to make space for it. But the one that I would share that maybe is like less obvious is that I think you really have to be able to feel it in your body. And that's a skill and a practice. And some people know how to do that, and some people don't automatically know how to do that. Just like some people are really adept at honoring hunger and fullness cues. And for other people, it's a skill that you need to relearn. And so for me, I guess that's what I would share is like you also need to be able to feel it in your body. And when I talked about like I can put myself back in that energy from when I went to Miraval at the beginning of 2025, that is me feeling it in my body, but also in my mind and my nervous system. And so I guess that's the tip that I would share, and also why, if you're out there listening and we've intrigued you at all, why I really, really hope that you'll join us for that 1 day retreat on February 7th, because these are the kind of conversations we're going to have. And this is the energy that we want to create for you. And also, we want to help you feel it in your body. And I promise you'll figure out, I promise you can tap into that well beyond the day of February 7th.
I think one of the things that I'm excited about too for the retreat is that all of the decisions, logistics, emotional labor, mental load, like we're taking all of that off of everyone's plate, and then they'll have the capacity to learn those tools and skills that they can take with them into their life. It's not just like another thing on the to-do list, like, "Oh, I have to go self-care at 10 and then at 11 I'm picking up the kids." Like it's not like that, We're going to take you through this journey so that you can apply it into your life and feel it in your body months later, years later.
And you're making me think that sometimes for me, the best part of coming to a retreat is that exactly that. I don't have to do anything, plan anything. Like people are planning stuff for me and I just follow and it feels good. And then I don't know the last time that anybody made lunch for me. I mean, that's so sad, but it's true. Like here, lunch is already planned for you and it's a good one. And here it is. And here's what we're doing next. And it's going to feel great. And then let's have this conversation. Like you can just show up on your comfortable clothes and let other women nurture you, take care of you, and guide you into good reflections and thoughts about your own body and your own life. And That sounds good to me. I just don't want to do anything. We'll do all the work. You
I
just
was gonna
come.
say, I was gonna say, you can let other people create a restorative
Yeah.
experience for you. That's what we're doing ultimately, and we hope you'll join us. Early
I
bird
mean,
special.
professionals, you're letting three professionals create
Yeah.
this day for you. And you just need to show up. That's it.
Well, I don't know what you guys think, but my wheels are spinning after this conversation, like even just of how to apply it to my own life in a different sort of way. So hopefully this was an eye-opening and helpful conversation for other people also. What's your takeaway? Maria, you're always great at summarizing like what you take away from the conversation.
I think the takeaway is that if you have been, if any of this resonates with you, right, and you want a day where you don't have to perform or be on or pretend that you're not tired or, looking for that space that actually supports yourself and your nervous system, not at just a surface level, but even a step deeper. Again, a time to reconnect with yourself without guilt. We thought about that already and we created this retreat. So I think the takeaway, if any of the information we shared on this episode resonates with you, come and join us to the retreat. And I think the takeaway is this is important. And like you said, Elizabeth, it is the foundation of everything we do. When our nervous systems are depleted, I can't think of anything that you can do well or pleasantly because it's your body telling you, girl, no, we need to stop and restore because we're human beings, we're people.
Also, can I say one last thing? So this retreat is in Annapolis. Obviously, if you're local, it's much easier for you to get here. If you're not local, you're still welcome to come. Annapolis is a wonderful place to spend the weekend. It's a great little town. Bring your girlfriend and come and like have a whole thing about it. But also, if you live somewhere else in the country and you're like, dang, I really wish Wellness Rebranded would come to me and do something like that, send us a message on Instagram because maybe we will.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Especially if
remember,
you're somewhere awesome, with the beach nearby.
California,
Yeah,
Denver.
I mean, we are going to be doing more of these experiences in 2026, and if you want it near you, we won't know unless you tell us.
So reminders, February 7th, it's a Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Annapolis. Your Wellness Rebranded hosts are bringing for the first time ever a full day retreat. We're calling Exhale because we're going to be doing a lot of that. And all the information is on the show notes. You have a code for an early bird discount until December 15th. After that, still register. Link again on the show notes. And how exciting will be to see each other in person and just again feel safe, seen, and supported together as a community.
Thank you for listening. If you want to connect with me outside of this podcast, you can find me on Instagram at coaching_therapist.
I'm Elizabeth. You can find me at Elizabeth Harris Nutrition or in my Facebook group, Health and Healing with Intuitive Eating.
And I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Tara De Leon Fitness. Guys, if you loved this episode or any of our other episodes, we would love it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcast. It really, really helps us get the non-diet word out to the rest of the world. So please leave us a review.
Yes, thank you.